Hollis, okay, hold on. Not only was Rachel Hollis there, but they had 10 guest speakers that were so freaking phenomenal. Half of them I actually had never even heard of, and now they're like my favorite people in the entire world because every single one of them added some form of value to me. Whether they spoke for 10 minutes or 30, I was like writing. I mean, y'all, I brought my iPad, I had my little pencil, and it did not stop. I was just like writing, highlighting, and annotating like all this stuff because it was just so much freaking knowledge. So make sure you've got something to take notes with, okay? Pen and paper, phone notes, something, because it's going to be too much content for you to remember. Okay, and just like all of us that were off the conference, they said one good thing and we're like, oh good, we write that down, and then the next thing they say is good and I like can't finish the sentence before I'm trying to write the next, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna video just this one part, and then I look down and it's 25 minutes long because everything she said was good. So we are actually taking the best things that we took from this. So not only are you didn't have to sit through the whole event, you saved yourself $500. Hello, yes, and now you're sitting here getting the top tips that we took from it. So everyone you're hearing from is triple diamond and above, so you know the things that they take are something that are going to move and shake your business. So take notes, make sure you're like listening. If you zone out, snap back in. I'll like yell at you if I notice somebody's yawning, because what Rachel Hollis does is if you yawn, she counts down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, she plays music and you got to dance. Do you want to do that? Don't think so. So make sure you're paying attention, make sure you're taking notes. And I'm so freaking excited because we are going to start it off with Ambassador Diamond, Rachel Jones. She's going to share her best tips with you. Everybody comment in the chat how much you love Rachel, because I love Rachel and I'm so excited to hear her best tips. So tell us all about
Okay, guys, I'm excited. I only have 7 minutes, 8:06. I'm gotta respect the time, otherwise people get cut off. It's not fair. So I'm a fast talker, gotta keep up. What I will say is a couple things first before I jump into my notes that are so crazy everywhere. One thing is I really recommend writing this all down. It's a difference than being on your phone. I think being on a phone is very distracting. So I really recommend writing. If you can, just write, even if you're not a writer, just scribble. And then 2, really pay attention to this, you guys, because I'm telling you, I had to mentally talk to myself every morning that we were going in. It's a long freaking day to have like 8 hours off your phone and like focused in. This is only 50 minutes, guys. 50 minutes of just your undivided attention. If your head is down on your phone, you're not fully listening. So I just encourage you to put your phone down for this Zoom and really listen, guys, because I went in knowing this would be litty titty, but I didn't think it would be like as, I don't know, I'm just feeling great. So pay attention, please. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through, you guys, there's a lot of us speaking on this, so we had to like try to compare. There was a lot of good stuff, but we're trying to not overlap on each other. So my notes that got me so excited, first of all, there's like millions of speakers that speak. And what the number one most common thing I noticed with all of them is 1, they're waking up before the rest of the world, and 2, their health is like very important to them. And I'm sitting there feeling, and I know Jess said the same thing, I'm sitting there feeling almost like a fraud. Like, I don't know. It's like, when did we stop waking up early? When did we stop being disciplined with our body? And it's just, I don't know what it was, but it's like they all talked about it, but not in an annoying way. And I just had this like epiphany of like, I don't have enough time in the day. Like I need to make more time in the day and I need to put my health first. It's just so easy. I also am wearing a robe because I'm tired and I just got out of the shower. So please take me seriously. So those are things I wanted to say, just boring stuff. It woke me up. And then the next thing, one of the people said this, I think it was Tom Bilyeu, humans are the ultimate adaptation machines, you guys. We don't have to, we're not born entrepreneurs. We're not born knowing how to figure everything out. We can adapt to anything, you guys. And I thought that was really interesting. Humans are the ultimate adaptation machines. And then this too. I'm just gonna keep talking because I 7 minutes, Shay. So you mute while I talk. Okay, it hurts. Oh my gosh, when things hurt, when struggles hurt, when you're in the valleys, when things hurt, it's for a reason. It hurts because you're supposed to pay attention to it. And when you pay attention to it, that's when you learn from it. That shook me. I don't want to cry. I'm not going to cry. It's fine. Good. That just something about that. So it hurts. It's supposed to hurt. Life is supposed to hurt. Stuff in the business hurts. People leave. People do this. And that hurts. It hurts. So you pay attention and you listen. I'm going to repeat everything twice. The struggle is guaranteed. Success is not. The struggle is guaranteed. The success is not. And we have to understand what the struggle produces. And again, I think this is kind of correlated with the hurt, the struggle, you know, everything. I love it. I love it. I love it. Sometimes I think that when we have struggle, we think that we're doing something wrong, or we feel like we're never going to struggle, or maybe you've been in it for a year and you haven't yet. And you guys, at the end of the day, I say this on all my Zooms, at the end of the day, like, I'm just thinking about longevity. We all should want to be in this forever, right? You can't expect to not have struggles, and that doesn't make you a failure. The struggle is guaranteed, but the success is not. This is a little like jab, jab. Some of us are not committed. We are just interested. And this is freaking interesting if you really think about it, because we all say we're so committed, but like, there's a difference in being full-blown committed and just slightly interested. Just like there's a difference in me wanting to lose weight and me like actually wanting it bad enough to where I'm going to do it, right? There's a difference. There's a reason why I'm still overweight 3 years in a row. I just love that. Some of us are not committed. We are just interested. You got to turn it up. Okay. If you're another one where you're like, shoot, he's talking to me. If you're choosing to accept it, you cannot complain about it. If you're choosing to accept it, you cannot complain about it. So however crappy your life is right now, whatever's going on in business, whatever's going on in your life, maybe it's not good, maybe it's not up to par. If you're choosing to accept what's going on in your current circumstance, you cannot complain about it. Yeah, sucks. Okay. Oh, this too. Get good at saying no to the things that don't better your business. Again, these are like wake up call, wake up call, wake up call. Get good at saying no to the things that don't better your business. And so for some of us, it's different things. For some of us, it might be we have a television addiction. For some of us, we're like, I go out and party a lot and I don't give my business. Some of us like sleep in all day. Some of us do Zooms all day long, but we're not taking anything from it and we're not really focusing on what we need to do. I think that's good, guys. Learn to say no to the things that are not bettering your business and getting you where you need to go. And then real quick, I love this school example. One of the men on stage was talking about, think about this, isn't it kind of mind-blowing how we go to school for like 12 to 14 years because we have to, and how many of us freaking hate it, but we still wake up every morning, we go to school, we take the test, we do our homework because we have to. And imagine if we had, but yet we hate it, right? So think about what we love, which is this business and the self-development and everything that has to do with it that we love, and how we're not treating it the same as we treat what we hate, right? That kind of makes you reevaluate a little bit. I love that. Okay, growth is impossible without faith. With faith comes confidence. And then this is a good one too. Failure is only final when you quit. So again, just knowing you're gonna fail, but you're failing forward. Failing doesn't make you a failure. It's not a failure. It's not legitimately a failure. And it's not final until you quit. Suffer now. Oh, this too. Oh my gosh, Ed Milet, I think. Suffer now so you can live the rest of your life a champion, you guys. I'm willing to right now, it's been 5 years in the business and I feel like I'm just getting started, but like, I don't know, something in the freaking air. I'm willing to put it all out there, to wake up a little earlier, to do all the things I hate, which, might be considered suffering in different ways. I mean, things that you don't like, I feel like could be considered a suffer now so you can live the rest of your life a champion. I'm willing to put those things on hold and to do the things that make me uncomfortable, to do the things that I don't like now. People are young, while they don't know, while everything is so new and fresh, so that when my life is truly just getting started, I'm good. I can live a champion, you guys. We forget the work. And someone said something like, don't forget the process during the win to the win. Like, people just want to win. You forget the process that goes in. I'm almost done, Shay. Suffer now so you can live the rest. Every morning is a second chance. That was Brandon Burchard, whatever. He's freaking adorable, super awesome. He talked about how he got in a car accident, looked at life differently. Every single morning you wake up, think of it as a second chance, you guys. We're not getting time back. And don't make me talk about that because I will cry. It freaks you out. We're not like rewinding time. We're here on earth. We have one life to live. We cannot waste it. And then this is a little bit dark, Ed Milet, but Ed said it, so it's okay. And he said it, he's okay. He just talked about how, I don't know how to say it, how he said it, so I'm just gonna say it, just love me. He said something about like, we don't have to physically kill ourselves because some of us are doing it a little each day. Maybe that didn't make your goosies happen, but like when he said it in there, however he said it, I was like, holy freaking shiz. Some of us every single day, we're killing ourselves a little every day because we're not living the life that we were created here for. That's all I got. Love you so much. Yes. Okay. Bye.
I hope y'all got that, because that was like, that sounded like a video on Video Shop and then you speed it up, right? Did y'all get that vibe? Yeah. drop a 1 if you got something from that. Like, listening to it again, I can imagine the way that they were saying it on stage, and we're all sitting there, and we have tears, like me and Rachel the whole time. We look over and we're like, are you crying? Bawling, guys, bawling. I don't know, I have lashes left, but I'm so excited because the next person, I hope she's on here, Lakin, you should be able to unmute yourself.
Yes, hi. My
Hi.
kids are going crazy, so sorry to interrupt. Okay, so this weekend, like Rachel just said, it was so amazing. And my biggest key points that I took away, I just want to make sure really quick, is my connection okay? Yeah, okay. Okay, cool. So my key points this weekend were consistency and how to be more consistent. So a couple of the things that stood out to me were, don't be a pretender. And I feel like so many times in our business we do pretend, and it's not even like, oh, we say we make all this money and we don't, but just in little things, or saying, oh, I did that task, or oh, I did this, or oh, I did that, but deep down inside you know you didn't. And so being very consistent and not being a pretender, being completely 100% transparent on what you have done and what you are doing. And then when you do that, you teach your team to do the exact same thing. And if you feel like you're stuck, or like you aren't going anywhere in your business, or like you're not where you want to be, you have to kind of take a step back and look inward and say, okay, so have I been a pretender? That was the one thing I was like, wham, smack in the face. And then the second thing, connect with people and come from a real place. And I feel like so many times we think we have to be this perfect person, this perfect, like my Instagram has to be the same, my Facebook has to be perfect, my pictures, and we can't post pictures if we don't have our makeup done, or we can't post pictures of like what our real life looks like. And I know that I struggle with that so many times because I'm a mom of 2 and I'm 23, and so many of the people in my audience, or so many people that I want to connect with, are like sorority girls, or in college, or they have this fun life, and sometimes I feel like, well, I can't connect with them if I'm not like coming from the same place. If I show them who I really am, then they're not going to love me, or they're not going to like me or follow me. And that's not true, you guys. People want to see who we are in the real us, because when they see us be real, they will see, I can do this in my everyday life. I can be very unorganized and still be good at this business. I can be super busy and still be good at the business. But when we hide that and we tell ourselves, like that little voice in the back of our head saying, oh, you need to be fake, or oh, you need to show them only the best parts of you instead of the hard parts too, that's when it becomes really hard for people to connect with you. Because if people see just this perfect person, they're never going to connect with you. They want to see real, someone just like them, someone who does struggle, someone who sleeps late, someone who is unorganized, or whatever the case may be. They want to see that. So connecting with people and coming from a real place, that's something that so many times, like social media, so most of the time you just see the highlight reel, and instead of just giving them the highlight reel, give them your best and most authentic self. And I feel like all of us could really work on that. The third thing with being consistent is trusting the process. So trusting the process looks so different for so many of us, no matter where we're at in our business, whether we're brand new and we don't start off as fast as we want to. If we join and we're like, oh, I think I can have $1,000 overnight, instead of, oh, it took me 3 weeks to find my first customer or my first distributor. You know, we have to kind of trust the process, that success does leave clues. And it doesn't matter, you know, you might be comparing your beginning to someone's middle, or someone's, you know, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years into the business, saying, oh my gosh, they're signing 30 customers. What's wrong with me? I must be terrible at this, or I must suck at this. I need to quit. Like, I feel like so many times, especially when we're brand new, but even when we go through the motions and we're in the business for a little bit longer, we always compare ourselves to someone else, and we don't even know where they're at in their business. We just know what they show us. You get what I'm saying? So when we stop comparing and we start trusting, that's when our business and our lives will change. And same for our downline, our team. We teach them to do the same things. The speed of the leader is the speed of the pack. And when we duplicate all of these things, they're going to duplicate it. And it's just going to be a trickle down effect. And it's going to literally like build your business and take it to a whole nother level. So trusting the process, you guys, trusting the process, and don't base it off of your expectations. Base it off of, okay, we know success leaves clues. We know that, you know, if we are in this business and we're doing all the things that we're doing and we're planting the seeds, that it's God's law that our seeds will harvest. So trust the process. That's like a big one. Number 4 was stop trying to skip the work and stop trying to skip the work to go to the top. So meaning like, don't feel like you can, you don't have to do all the work to get there. Don't feel like you can just like let your team carry you there. Like if you want to go to the top, if you want to be an ambassador diamond, if you want to be a diamond or a ruby or an emerald or whatever your goal is, you've got to do the work to get you there. You can't rely on, oh, I signed my 3 distributors or I signed my 10 distributors and now they're going to do the work and they're going to bring in the volume and I'm just going to go and I'm just going to ride it. You've got to do the work yourself and you've got to really be all in to get yourself to where you want to be, and you cannot rely on anyone. And then number 5, know you're replaceable. I know a couple of us are probably going to just continue to talk about that, but when I heard know you're replaceable, I was like, bam, like anybody can do this business, anyone can replace me at any time, especially if you are not doing the work. And then a couple other things that I thought were like moments for me was growth is impossible without faith. So growth, they did this analogy where it's like faith is like a muscle and growth is like a muscle and all of these different things. If you are like repeating and doing the same thing over and over and over again, you're going to grow that muscle and you're going to have like muscle memory. And so when times do get hard, you're going to have that to fall back on. And giving yourself permission to fail. So sometimes failure is one of these things where we feel like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to fail, I'm scared of failing. Or when we do fail for the first time, it sucks and we're so stuck and we're like, man, I'm just not good at this. But failure is only final when you quit. Like you've got to take failing, or like you got to take quitting off the table and know that failing is on the table. Failing's going to happen. But if you fail forward instead of failing and then quitting, you're going to go further. You cannot have success without failure. And then just reminding yourself every single day that you are great. If you're waiting on someone to believe in you or respect you or respect your freshness, you'll be waiting forever. So stop. I feel like so many times when we become diamond and above, or when we have our first like leadership role, or when we do start growing our team, we feel like we have to always ask for permission, or we feel like we always have to have this sense of like, do they think that I'm great? Or we start doubting ourselves. And if we get into our own minds, if we let that little voice in the back of your head, Rachel told us to name the voice and then picture them on like the outside if they're a real person. So think about that. If you're letting that voice in the back of your head tell you you're not great and you're not all of these things, then you're never going to be. And if you're letting that little voice inside of you hold you back, it's just you holding yourself back, if that makes sense. So stop waiting on like someone else to give you permission. Stop waiting on any other outside source to validate you or to tell you, yes, you can do this, or, you know, you need to do X, Y, Z. Do it yourself. Do it for yourself. Be a self-starter. Stop asking for permission and remind yourself of that every single day. So what I started doing today was the very first thing I did this morning. I always write my affirmations, but I wrote my affirmations in my bathroom mirror and I read them off to myself out loud because I'm going to start training my brain every day to do that, to remind myself of all of these different things. And then Trent Shelton, he talked about this, and I thought it was like super cool because I've never heard of someone doing this. And I was like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. So when you visualize your environment, when you visualize your environment, it like comes to life for you. So he said, you know, before he went somewhere, he visualized it 10 times. So when he went there, he already knew that he had been there, if that makes sense. Like it was already familiar to him. So when he said, visualize your environment, first time physically, but 10 times mentally. So if you, before you go physically, if you're thinking, okay, my goal is triple diamond, what does that look like for you? What are you going to be able to do with triple diamond? What does that mean for you? Visualize that over and over and over and over and over again. And then when you finally get there, it's going to feel familiar. You're going to say, oh, this is what I visualized. Here it is. It's all of that and more. Even when it means like going to your first event, if you're very new to this and you've never been to conference and you're like, I'm going to conference this year, visualize what's conference going to do to you. visualize like the arena, visualize being there, whatever it is, visualize being on stage if you're speaking at an event, or, you know, whatever it is that you're doing for the first time, visualize it 10 times at least. And once you do it, it'll feel already like you've been there before.
I love those. My favorite thing that you said was the part about like waiting for somebody to believe in you. You'll wait your whole life. When she said that, I was like, you're right, because I was waiting for all these people to believe in me when I joined the business, and waiting for all these people in high school to believe in me, and nobody ever did. And I believed in myself, and that's how I got to this point. So those tips were super, super good. Thank you for sharing all of those. Erin, you are next, sister.
Hello. Okay. So I have lots of notes and ahas, but I'm gonna kind of just share something like. So I went to Tony Robbins this summer as well. So and I'm gonna say that there's some things that were definitely said at the same things. You know, like very similar topics. I know she looks up to him as a mentor, and so um, I think there's definitely power in that. You know, seeing that multiple people. So like Rachel said, the biggest thing, you know, that we heard over and over is people talking about their health, getting their health right, you know, taking care of their bodies, making sure that first and foremost, like they themselves were their priority. And then they kept saying, you know, you must have stated priorities and they must be in order. So you have to say them out loud, whatever that's going to be for you and your family, but you need to make sure that they're stated, they're put out there. That way you have something kind of a guideline mentally for yourself. And we kept hearing over and over how much they talked about their routine, how routine was crucial, you know, not only just consistency, but having a routine. So waking up early, you know, a lot of them talked about working out, like eating healthy and all the kale, like kept hearing about kale, you know, so all those different things. So routine is going to be crucial. So whatever works best for you, but, you know, doing that over time. Cause I know like even Ed Milet, he gave the example of the piñata. And he was like, you know, you go to this birthday party, and so there's like the pounding, and then you put the next kid on there, and there's the pounding, and then you put the next kid on there, and there's pounding and the pounding. And after you get through like the 10th kid doing the exact same activity, that's when the piñata breaks. And so that's what consistency is. Consistency is that same action over time, and then you finally get that result that you want. So putting in the action, I just love that because it's so simple that we're like, what? You know, like so crazy just to think about, you know, just the simplicity of that. So routine is going to be crucial. I this quote hit me. I think it was Trent. I don't know. I don't remember who. I have so many notes, but you know, how can we keep showing up to things that we hate, like a job? So we have to show up for a job, but we won't be consistent at the things that we love. And I was like, oh my God, like I think that's going to speak to a lot of people. You know, this might be the business that you love. It might be some other hobby that you love, or, you know, you're like, I enjoy, you know, but we're not stepping up and stepping out for that thing and being consistent in the things that we love. We just keep doing the things that we hate. And like, I don't know, I feel like you got to change that. Understand who's depending on you. And so I think Jess is probably going to talk about like the little video example and stuff, but, you know, everybody just kept talking about, you know, kind of like, even this is like later in my notes, but Ed Milet, you know, he gave the example of, you know, when he goes to heaven, he's like, I imagine that when I go to heaven, there's going to be like, you know, I'm going to meet God and on like judgment day or whatever. And, there's going to be like, if I did every single thing that God wanted me to and laid out, I'm going to see a version of myself. Or there could be a version of myself that like, you know, God has this vision and maybe it's complete opposite of what he wants. And so he said at the end of the day, when he goes for that judgment, he wants to make sure that he's mirroring that same image that God had laid out for him. And I was like, oh, like that is pretty intense to think about, you know, because they all talked about like, if today was your last day, would you be happy with your story? Would you look back and like be okay with all the chapters? You know, how like, and the cool thing is like today's not your last day. You know, tomorrow's a brand new day. You can start that new chapter over. So maybe you're not happy with the first, you know, for me, 30 chapters, getting ready to start 31, you know, maybe you want to switch it up and that's perfectly fine. You know, don't beat yourself up about it, but you have the power to change that story. Trent said, you know, application creates transformation. So he always used that little acronym ACT. And so I love that. I mean, I think it speaks for itself and, some of the things that we've been talking about. Success doesn't depend on world-class talent. And hopefully we're not repeating some of these same things because I feel like some of them go, but success doesn't depend on world-class talent, but it has to be world-class consistency. And so again, like you guys hear it over and over and over. This is 3 days of that same stuff, Brendan Bouchard, or however you say his last name, whatever. He, his big things were, did I live, did I love, and did I matter? So again, they all talked about the very similar things. So I love that when you ask yourself at the end of the day, did I live today? Did I love today? Did I matter? Never limit your vision for yourself or your family based on your current circumstances. I thought that was so powerful because I'm like, oh my God, like that's so crazy, thinking about how many times we're not taking that leap of faith because we're thinking of right here and now. When, 5 steps down the road, if we take that little something, you might get something even better from it. So many times, and this even happened at Tony Robbins, they talk about movement with your thoughts and your energy. So there's so much that goes into movement creates energy, and positive energy creates results. And so, they even said, Ed Mylett, he was like, you need to be saying your affirmations or talking about your goals, but you need to be doing it while you're moving your body, because not only like are you more likely to achieve those things, but your body just gets in a different state. You get more energy, you get hyped when you're doing things. So he said, if you're going for your walk, you need to be talking about your goals out loud. If you're doing exercise, like something like that, while you're working out, like whatever it looks like for you, but just movement. And so that was like, even I know for Tony Robbins, like, and here, like, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, like you're up and jumping because they know they're saying something powerful. And for us to have it stick in, movement is huge, and just changing that state in your brain. This always stuck out to me. I think multiple people said it, always operate from a place of gratitude. Because I think they said, you can't be hateful if you're grateful. So I think that was huge, like always reminding yourself. So not only, saying maybe 5 affirmations and saying, very specific things, not just like, I'm a good mom, but maybe it's like, hey, I'm an extraordinary mom, or hey, I'm like, my kids, love me, or I'm, I think Rachel gave the thing where she said, super close with my kids, or something along those lines. So whatever it looks like for you, but then, jotting down, maybe 3 or 5 things that you're grateful for that day, so you can start that routine. And that's something, I know that she has like her little journal, but you can get a notebook and write down those 5 things every single day, write as if life is already happening. Bank account is the definition of your business doing well, not your likes on social. And I think sometimes we get caught up on that. We get so caught up on wondering like, how many likes are we getting? But really, like, and especially in this business, we get paid to enroll customers and enroll distributors. Point blank, end of story, that's it. And so we've got to just take that focus off of, people be like, nobody's liking anything. Doesn't matter if you're signing customers, does it? Doesn't matter if you're signing distributors. So, don't stress that. Focus on getting the actual results. I got 2 more things and then I'm done. 3 actually. Thoughts and feelings must be aligned in order to create change. So you have to have the thought and the feeling and the belief behind it, or else you're never going to want to make that step. People have to believe what you are telling them. People have to believe that you believe what you're telling them. So you talk about your customers or something like that. If you don't believe in the products, that's why you're not signing customers. If you don't believe in this business and that you can make money, that's why they're not joining your team, because you have to believe what you're telling that person. And so that's how you can create influence. That's how you can get people to join your team. That's how you can sign customers. So if you want to influence your network, that's what you need to do. Is you need to believe in yourself, and you need to believe in the products. Last thing, no, that was it, because I already talked about the heaven version. So that is it. But it was very powerful, and I highly recommend it. That's it.
So much information, but the best of the best information that we got, and I love all of those. So Jessica, my girl, this girl was my dance partner the whole time. If you were on my Instagram, you saw all the dance videos. Share with us what you took away this weekend.
Okay, I'm going to try to go through these fast. So I'm a fast speaker too. The thing that will make or break you in this business is you. Whether that's your consistency, your mindset, your drive, it is all up to you. If you want to succeed or you want to fail, it's on you. And I know that that might seem like a little bit harsh, but it doesn't come down to if your team is working, if this is happening, if this is happening. If you want something bad enough, you're going to go after it, you're going to make it happen. So all up to you. If you want to get rich, start thinking about value. What are you adding to people's lives? Stop thinking about people as a sale or just a customer. You are changing somebody's life. You are getting a distributor signed up so you can help them change their life. So what are you adding value to people's lives? People will forget about you without consistency. So if you're somebody who posts once a week or once every 2 weeks, or you're posting things that aren't telling people who you are, they're not going to remember your name. So make sure you're posting content that they can relate to you and who you are as a person in this business and out. Understand the importance of making decisions today that your future self will thank you for, not hate you for. That was, to me, was like, whoa, because it all comes down to, I've struggled with my weight loss for 4 years now. And have I been consistent enough to lose the weight, get it off? Have I been consistent enough to be in my business where I want to be? No. And I don't want to look down the road 10 years from now and be in this position without knowing that I did everything that I could to get there. So understand the importance of making decisions today that your future self will thank you for, not hate you for. Don't trade in your identity for popularity. That, it gives me chills, because so many times you see all of these people with the lashes, with the pretty hair, with the pretty clothes, and if that's them, let them do that. If that's not you, don't mold into that person. You don't have to be like everybody else. So just be yourself. You'll get there. If you don't own your past, it will own you. How many of you are allowing everything that has happened in your past or in the last few months still ride with you to today? You don't realize how much that is holding you back, and I'm guilty of this too. Things in my past weighing me down, not allowing me to grow, forever coming up in my mind, and you just have to let those things go. They're in the past for a reason. Take that step forward, forget about them, grow from them, but leave them in the past where they're meant to be. When it gets real, you'll see if it's real for you. And so that to me spoke on a level of, if you've ever lost rank or you've ever had life happen to you in this business, which I can assume that all of us have, when it gets real, you'll see if this business is real for you. Are you going to work through those hard times? Are you going to give up because things got hard? Or are you going to keep pushing through that? Do not wait. Do not lower your ambitions because people don't understand it. Who cares if people don't understand what you're doing? Who cares if people get annoyed seeing you post every day and make this business the center of it? It's not their life, it's yours. So don't lower your ambitions for other people. Ooh, this one is good. 30 minutes of scrolling equals 22 8-hour workdays. 30 minutes of scrolling on Facebook equals 22 8-hour workdays. Now, people spend an average of 90 minutes scrolling a day. That equals 66 8-hour workdays. Do you realize how much time you are losing from just aimlessly scrolling on your phone when you could be working? That was just like, whoa. You have time to work this business. Even if you're working full time or whatever, you have time. This is another goodie. People will buy from you when they feel understood, not when they understand you. So I think a lot of times, a lot of us, I know I'm guilty of this, we share all the success that we've had and all of the great things that have happened in our business, but we don't take the time to actually sit and listen to why that person needs this business and understanding their struggles that they're going through and understanding that they can't pay their rent, or they can't pay their electric, or they don't have gas to put in their car, and really like getting to their level and connecting with them on that. They don't need to understand you to want to jump into this business. They need to be understood. Your mess doesn't disqualify you from winning. So whether you've had the worst life, everything and anything has happened to you, that doesn't mean that you're unworthy. It doesn't mean that you can't win. It doesn't mean that you're less than anybody else. Use your past and all the growth that you have to rise up from it. Don't allow the voice in your head to be bigger than the voice in your heart. Listen to your heart. If you're feeling pulled, if you're feeling tugged to do something, to run for something, to go for a promotion, to talk to that person, run after it. 1 second, out please. Or you're just gonna stand here? Okay. She never comes in during Zoom, sorry. And my favorite quote from the entire weekend, listen through the fear. Listen through the fear. If you have goals that you've set for yourself, listen through that voice in your head that tells you that you can't. The people that are close to you that tell you that you're not worthy of this, or this is a scam, or it's not going to work for you, because it will, you guys, it will. That's just, fear is a freaking liar. It is a liar, and you need to stop listening to it. So that is all I have. Made it through without crying, even though I cried the whole freaking weekend. Yeah.
I love how Rachel put in a comment, she was like, y'all feel attacked while we're telling you? Imagine 17,000 speakers with bass that comes from like the heavens that shakes your heart, and she like yells at you and tells you to get your crap together, and you're like, oh, okay. Oh, got it. I heard it loud and clear, Rach. That was personally victimized at me. And it's just one thing after one thing after one thing after one thing, and it was just so freaking much that we left there almost feeling drained in a positive way. Like it took so much from you to listen to all of that and apply it as soon as they say it, because I almost found myself of them saying this stuff. I mean, how many of y'all got some value from this? Drop something, drop a hallelujah or a amen. Like if you're getting something from this because you're feeling, you don't realize things about yourself until they're pointed out. And then they hit you, and then they hit you down here. It's not just like up here, like, ooh, that hurts. It's like a soul thing. So please make sure you're paying attention to this, that you're listening to things. Rachel forgot to add something, so she's going to add something before I talk to y'all last.
I just want to say something because it'll be dumb. I mean, might be dumb now, but it'll be dumb after Shay, because she's like going to end us into the family call. So I just wanted to quickly say real quick, you guys, because I feel like so many times when these situations arise, like we see something about Tony Robbins or Rachel Hollis or Grant Cardone, like all these random people, and we think about it, but we just feel like we're underqualified to go, you guys. And if I like after this weekend, if I could encourage you to do anything, it would be like, whenever you see it next, whether it's on a team page, usually it's on a page. We saw it on Lifers, and you see like a big group going. I encourage you to really, really challenge yourself to getting there. And so I counted myself out when Rachel Hollis came up, and I counted myself out because I've traveled all stinking freaking year long, and I have kids. And then I just couldn't escape it. And I talked to Zach about it, and I was like, listen, I'm feeling really, really guilty because I just made a post about this, you guys, about mom guilt. I've traveled 10 times this year, and that's not even as much compared to everybody else, but it feels so much. And I'm like, I want to go. I've never gone to any other training outside of It Works. I've never been filled up by anybody else outside of It Works. And when I told him that I was Wednesday to Sunday, that's a freaking long time. And I wanted it so freaking bad that he let it happen. We made it happen, obviously. And I missed the mark, and I had to buy the expensive ticket, and then everything adds up. But you guys, I can't explain what it does once you're there. Besides all of us, what I just wanted to say real quick, besides all of this, like the actual in the Coliseum, like being poured into, the surrounding stuff, the staying in a house with people, the being able to like chatter about little It Works things, the being like the community and the just fulfillment. But being in It Works and doing all this stuff, I love It Works conferences. I wish we had them every month. We just don't. You get tired. And I didn't think I was really tired right now, but this was exactly what I needed. It's like it was all centered around It Works, but not without fully being It Works. And I remember when Cammie called me the day that Costa Rica was announced, and she was asking if I was going to Boston. And I literally started sweating because I didn't go to Boston because I picked Rachel Hollis over it before Boston was announced. And I was so scared to tell her. And I told her, I said, I'm going to Rachel Hollis. Please don't be mad. And she was like, I think that's the best decision you could make for yourself. If everybody in this business could at least one time get poured into by some billionaires that are trustworthy, I think this is the best decision, and we'll just miss you at Boston. And it was just confirmation, you guys. And so I just wanted to say, this is really great. It's only an hour of like great stuff, and we had so much more time, but it's just like your cup's overfilling of that in all these other ways. And so I just wanted to say that. I really, there's a baby. I just wanted to say that because I just feel like I didn't realize how much I needed to be fulfilled in all of these other ways. And it was just so awesome. So next time you see a big group going, or you see it and you're like, I don't freaking have the money, or I just couldn't get a babysitter, you make it happen when your head's like, I'm going to be there. And that's what I did. So I just wanted to let you guys know, because in the flip of a second, I went from, I don't need to be traveling anymore to, something tells me I need to be there. And you guys, I feel like I have a head start into 2020, and I feel so freaking good. That's all. Take us away. Okay, bye.
Yes. Okay. So I'm super interactive. So I'm going to like talk to y'all. So who feels like they've put in so much work and they're not seeing any results? Drop a 1. You feel like you've worked so hard. You joined this business. You're messaging people. Okay. That's a lot of 1s. Okay. Wow. Rachel, how many of y'all just heard of Rachel Hollis within the past couple of years? How many of y'all just heard about her? Raise your hand. You don't have to comment in the chat. A lot of you are raising your hand right now. Guys, she's been doing this for 16 years. 16 years ago, she became a blogger, a food blogger on Instagram. And for 16 years, she's consistently worked her business to where now you only just now heard of her within the last 2 years. She wrote a total of 6 books. 5 books had 10 people buy them. 10. Her 6th book was Girl Wash Your Face. And it is now the number 2 best-selling book in the world. Her 6th, I just got goosies everywhere. Like, you sit here and you get mad that you work for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 months, and you don't see results. Yet people sit here and work for 16 years and see success that you'll never see because you don't give it a chance. You have to be consistent in a business like this because overnight success doesn't last. Okay. Number 2, how do you feel about yourself when you're by yourself? How do you feel about yourself when you're by yourself? Only you can point yourself out for things you aren't doing. So you have to ask yourself when you're alone, what are you doing that's adding value to your life? What are you pouring into yourself? What are you doing when the doors are closed? When you're at home working your business, are you lying and telling your team, do this, do that, do this, message this many people, get on this Zoom, and you're not doing it either? It only hurts you. And that's the thing about this business, it's all self-discipline. So if I don't work my business, I'm a presidential diamond. So people think I'm pres. I could literally never work, ever. I could just sit back. Would my business thrive anymore? No. Would people know I'm not working? No. You have to ask yourself what you feel about yourself when you're by yourself. I want you to also ask yourself, I want you to think, who are the 2 people you look up to most in your business, who are top leaders you look up to most? If they came to your house for 24 hours and you didn't know and they were watching you, what would they say to you at the end of the 24 hours? What would they say about you after watching you in a camera after 24 hours of what you've done for your business? Some of y'all are like, ooh, shoot, that ain't gonna be good. They would cancel my e-suite probably. Okay, the next one, real life is going to hit you. So who are you going to be when that reality hits? Life happens, you guys, in every which way, every single one of us. Rachel's had life happen. Aaron's had life happen. They're still ambassador because life happens. You don't sit there and imagine, like some of us, our businesses get bad and we're like, oh crap, we may as well just quit. Somebody quit, we lost rank, it's all over. What happens when something like that happens in your life? Do you just sit down and just throw your hands up and say, all right, I quit on life? No, you have to get back up. And that's the same thing when it comes to this business. You don't have a choice. If you give yourself that choice, you'll always choose that one. The next one, when the money stops showing up, will you still show up? That one hit me. Because so many times do people text me when their paycheck drops and they stop showing up. They stop working. They stop posting. They stop leading their team. They stop getting on the Zooms because people stop showing up. They lose rank and they lose their entire vision, their entire dream, their entire mentality of this business because their paycheck drops. So who will you be when your check drops? Will you still be the person that works their business even through the valleys because you see the mountain? Or are you going to chicken out and you're going to peace out and sit back and be like, it was a good run? Do you think Rachel Hollis, what do you think she did when she saw that 5th book still get only 10 people to buy it? What if she would have stopped then? There would be no rise. We would not be doing this Zoom. We wouldn't be filled up. She wouldn't be a freaking gazillionaire, and she wouldn't have wrote the 2nd most popular, most selling book in the whole world. You have to be great at saying no to the things that don't get you closer to your yes. Stop watching Netflix every single day. Stop going to the bar every single night. Stop hanging out with people who do not make you better. Stop saying yes to things that don't add value to your business, because I'm going to tell you what, you saying yes to Netflix doesn't pay you. You saying yes to going out every single night makes you broke. You saying yes to going shopping all the time and doing this and doing that and hanging out with people that make you worse, what value is that adding to you? Absolutely nothing. And if you have people in your circle that don't make you better, question maybe that's why you're still where you are right now and you've been trying to get to the next level. That may be it. You are replaceable. You are replaceable. This one was the most real thing I heard the entire time, because I was like, really? You mean it? It was Trent. He said, it was like his last thing, and he just said, you're replaceable. We don't realize that this is a business, whether you are friends with your upline and you're like blood brothers. If you stop working and you don't pour into your business and you don't show up for it, you're replaceable. You get chopped. And it's not a friend decision, it's a business decision. This is a business at the end of the day. So if you stop working your business, if you have this team that's working, that's amazing, and you're like, woo, I got it, we made it, I got the people, this is it, you get chopped. I see it happen all the time, because people will rise up. If you do not rise up with them, they will rise up above you, and you will be replaced and you will be left behind, not because they don't like you, but because they don't need you. Next one. How do you become the red shirt in a sea of black shirts? How do you become the red shirt in a sea of black shirts? If we were all wearing black shirts, how are you going to be red? If you go on social media, guys, and you look at all the bloggers on Instagram, they all are the same. All of them, they all prop their foot out, and they all wear the cute hat, and they all wear the cute sweater, and they all have the like to know it link in the website. But there are a few that I stick to time and time again, because they're funny, because they're real, because they cry on their stories, because they share their life, they share everything, and those simple things. I mean, all of you have it, right? You all have those people on Instagram that you just follow. I have 2 people that I just like religiously. Their stories are the first 2 ones because I stick to them. Be the red shirt. Be you, unapologetically you, 110%. Everything that makes you who you are, say it, speak it, be loud about it. Rachel, so real, cries all the time. She posts about it. She posts about her tears, and it's real. I post about the fact that I screw up so much when it comes to flying. I'm real about it, and I don't care, because that's who I am. I don't try to be anybody else, and I never have been. So be 100% you, so that you can be a red shirt in a sea of black shirts, because guys, there's 200,000 distributors in this company. What makes you different? What makes you the person that someone's going to say, I'm going to buy from her and not this other girl? Last one. This one stuck out to me overall, because if you don't know my story, my mom was an alcoholic. And for a long time, I was like, oh, well, if she's an alcoholic and I came from this and I lived in government housing, like, how can I be successful? Guys, every person that was on that stage this weekend came from a freaking mess. A freaking mess. Like, divorced parents, drug addicted parents, pill popping parents, this happening, they had a divorce, they did this, they got in a car accident, they had a bad, like, so much happened. And these people, I am sweating, should not have worn a long sleeve shirt. And this quote, Ed Milet said, well, I had it on here. Okay, your mess does not disqualify you from wins. And it also says, if you are faithful enough, God will take your mess and repurpose your message. So maybe some of you had a message when you joined Snaps. This is all me and Rachel did, Snaps. Maybe you joined this business with a message and somehow you've lost it along the way. You got distracted. You don't think you're good enough. You think that your story keeps you from where you're going. Maybe you were addicted to alcohol. I don't know what your story is, but you got lost along the way because you compared yourself. You got stuck. You lost rank. You thought you weren't good enough. Your mess is your message, and you have to be willing to share that every single day to know that that is exactly why this business was put into your life. God has a reason for everything, and this business was brought to me to show me that just because my mom was an alcoholic and just because I came from government housing doesn't mean that I can't be something better and I can't be good, okay? I'm going to stop there because I'm going to cry. So I knew it was coming. I'm going to try to stop it. I'm having a moment. Okay, I'm over it. So anybody have anything else to share? Anyone that was there? Take it from me before my tears stream. No?
Well, Rachel got the car stuck in the driveway, so there's that if you want to remember that moment.
And Jessica almost peed her pants because Rachel couldn't get over the speed bump in the driveway.
Yeah, we had a speed bump literally in our driveway, and so yeah, that was funny. But I think it's like Rachel said, I think about It Works conferences and even anything like this. Like if you really take your business seriously, just like when I was a nurse, there was still continuing education or CEUs that I had to do outside of my job. So you need to treat these kind of things just the same way. If you're taking this seriously, if you're wanting that full-time income, if you want to do this for real, as you're all in, take ownership of those and pour into yourself as much. There's probably a lot of different options and things that, I know there's different conferences. And so find your person that motivates you and then get there, get a group of people going. But, I would just treat this, as serious as that. And we all had an amazing time, and you're hearing all these things and, we all heard the exact same information, but we all responded to it differently and it all stood out to us differently, in doing different things. So I would just encourage you, make sure that you're operating from that place of gratitude, writing down your goals every day, writing down those things, talking about what your vision is, and get your body moving with it. Just like they said, because I always think about it with like we're a health and wellness company, okay, and so that's where it really has to be like our big focus, not only for ourselves, but also for our customers and family. And so I don't know, I love this group of ladies, and it was an awesome experience.
Yes. And I think I have two things to leave y'all with. Number one, get to the next freaking event, whether you think you can afford it or not. I went to conference, my first conference, I was maintaining executive. I made $100 paycheck that month, you fools. And I put my account $80 in the negative. 80. I didn't even have money I split McDonald's with Carly. I know she's on here. And I literally told her, I was like, I will never freaking share McDonald's with you again, ever. I don't have to share McDonald's with anybody. I can get myself a Big Mac if I want, and I don't have to pay. I don't have to share. So go to conference, go to an event, go to a non-It Works event, go to a Rachel Hollis conference. They're next year. Start saving up. No excuses. Get yourself plugged in, because I can tell you what, I went to that event because it was at the end of the year. I wanted something to finish me out so that I could start 2020 with 2020 vision. So get to an event, pour into yourself, because not only did that pour into us, now us as leaders get to pour into our teams, okay? We get to take this and pour it into y'all, and you got it for free. So get to the event and go somewhere and pour into yourself. And the last thing that I have to tell you, BBC, what is that? What did I say? I'm so confused. Somebody fill me in. Okay, whatever. The last thing I have to tell you is that I always put, this is my background, and it literally says, God has prepared you for this. This moment right here. He's prepared you for this moment. You have it all, everything that you need. Everything. Also, Rachel said this like 17 times. She wished that she knew that everything that she has now that she tells us, she got it for free. She got it for free. Everything you need is on my YouTube channel. I promise you. Everything you need is on Google. Everything you need is in your upline's brain. You don't got to pay for nothing. You just have to show up, because God prepared you for it, and he's already instilled everything that you need to get to where you're supposed to go already inside of you, and everything that you need is free. Okay, anybody else want to inform me what to talk about in the chat, because I'm confused? So anyways, love y'all. Thank you for coming. This will be on my YouTube tonight. I hope you'll have a super awesome night, and I hope that you got some value from this. Bye, guys.